Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. And if you're new here, I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe. For today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different from my past videos because today I'm actually gonna be making a school-related video instead of a book-related video. I'm still sitting in front of my bookshelves just because I don't really know where else to sit. So I'm still in front of my bookshelves, and also it's like extremely dark outside, like very cloudy and stuff, so yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, in today's video I will actually be giving tips on how to maintain balance in your life when you are in school and you have a job and you still want to have like a personal life. So yeah, I am super excited about this. Balance is something I've realized that's very important to me recently because, like, I guess when I was in high school and like throughout a lot of college, I basically just kind of like holed away and just basically worked on like school and work kind of stuff. So I've realized recently that unsurprisingly my mental health is actually a lot better when I balance those things with like hobbies and rest, which is not surprising, but for some reason it still took me forever to figure that out. So I'm going to be giving my tips for how I balance school, work, exercising, maintaining a YouTube channel, and having time to read, having time to like rest and spend with friends and families. Friends and my family. That's going to be today's video. I have about 5 like main tips, and then I'll be going into depth more on each tip. So my first like overarching tip is to have a routine. So I'll just give like you an example of my routine. I'm a graduate student in health promotion, and I also have an assistantship, like a research assistantship through a different department on my campus. Yeah, so let's just say I have in my routine like 5 different components that I try to incorporate every week. So that would be school, work, exercising, YouTube, and other. So other would be like rest and like socializing. My routine starts off like Monday through Friday. I try to do work stuff like in the morning. So I usually get to my office anywhere from between like 7 to 9, which I know is a big range. So let's just say 8 on average. And then let's just say I work until 12, which this can be variable. And in a minute, I'll talk about the importance of having flexibility within your routine. So you don't want your routine to be so rigid that like you don't have time to spend time with friends if something comes up, or just adapt to changes, because sometimes things come up that you just can't predict or plan for. So yeah, it's important to hey baby, it's important to maintain flexibility within your routine, but to still have like a routine. So yeah, that's when I do my work, and then usually after that I'll try to eat while I'm working and let my food settle, and then I'll run after I do my work for my job, and then lift weights after I run. And so I do that 5 days a week. So usually I don't run at all on Saturdays, because Saturday is like my day that I take like completely for myself. So that's another recommendation I have to include in your routine, is a day like all to yourself, which that can be kind of hard to do, but like I don't know, it's really important to me personally to have a day that I just know that I can like sleep in if I want to, read, just kind of like chill and hang out with my cat. So yeah, that's what my Saturday is. This is gonna be like all over the place because I've never made a video like this, so sorry about that. I hope you can still like get something useful and helpful out of this video. So back to during the week. So I'll run and lift weights and finish that like mid-afternoon possibly, and take a shower and like get ready for class, because my classes are at night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I'll take a shower and get ready, and then I'll usually work on homework for a couple of hours, and then eat dinner, and then go to class. So yeah. And then Wednesday and Friday, I actually don't have class at all. So Wednesday evening, like when I would normally be in class, I usually use that time for YouTube. So that's usually when I'll like edit my vlogs that go up on Thursdays. I try to have them go up on Thursdays. Sometimes it'll be Friday or Saturday, just because school gets in the way, and school is a priority for me over the YouTube channel. Then on Friday nights, I usually reserve that for like family or friend time. And Sunday, I usually use I exercise on Sundays, and then I kind of like get ready for the week and plan for the week. And it's hard for me to be like, to actually do like actual school or work on the weekends. And so on Sundays, like I'm not like a bum like I am on Saturday. I just try to do things that are productive that aren't actually doing schoolwork, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's just a general like outline of my routine. I definitely try to make sure I usually have like one day or at least half a day to myself that I can do like whatever I want and just rest and relax. And I also try to hang out with like a friend or family at least once per week, because I've noticed that when I don't do that, it makes my mood a lot worse. So yeah, that's something I try to incorporate every week. And then I also try to incorporate exercise. I run 5 days a week and lift weights 5 days a week. Except for if it's like a really busy week or I'm sick, and then I'll do like 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Then I'll do like 4 days instead of 5. So the next tip kind of goes hand in hand with the routine, and that's to make sure you know what your priorities are. So like when I was talking about my routine, I talked about like the 5 general areas of my life that I always try to have in each week. So those are the like general areas of my life, and I feel like I have built my routine to reflect those priorities. And the thing about priorities is that they can change from week to week. So if you have like a big assignment for school one week, then like you might prioritize school over say YouTube. And like me, like this past week I had a huge paper due Thursday night. So Wednesday, when I would normally have been editing my vlog to go up Thursday, I worked on that paper so that I could get it done in time. But other weeks, like if I don't have a major school assignment, like I might prioritize YouTube and like not put as much work into the smaller school assignments, and then try to like put more work into my YouTube videos or something like that. So that's something that goes along with the importance of having flexibility within your routine. So like you want to have like a loose routine that reflects your priorities, but also flexibility that can reflect your priorities and how they can fluctuate from week to week, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would definitely come up with like maybe 5 general areas that you want to be able to incorporate per week, and then figure out like what the most important priority is, so that's gonna have like take up the most time. So like for me, school and work take up the most time. The next tip is planning. Planning can really help you work more efficiently. So like the last 3 tips are actually like efficiency tips. So if you work when you're supposed to be working, if you work more efficiently, then you'll have more time to spend on the life side of the work-life balance. So with planning, you want to make sure this kind of goes hand in hand with like the making the routine. So you want to make sure you plan in your schedule to have time to do all of your priorities, and you also want to make your plan realistic. So especially when I was like at the beginning of college, I would like have this like extremely long to-do list, like these unrealistic goals to get done in a day. And it would always like, it was like a vicious cycle where like I set out with these really lofty, unattainable goals, and then I'm not able to meet them because they're unattainable. And then I feel worse about like myself, so I'm even less motivated to do work. So you want your plans to reflect SMART goals. So I don't know if you've ever like heard of SMART goals, but basically it's like an acronym. So the S stands for specific, the M stands for measurable, the A stands for attainable, the R stands for realistic, and the T stands for time measured. So I can definitely like make a video that goes more into depth about that if anybody's interested. But yeah, you want your goals to be specific, because if they're unspecific then you don't really know where to like start. And you want them to be measurable, because that way you'll have like a set amount and it's not just this like out in the middle of nowhere kind of goal. And it's like less overwhelming to think, oh well I need to work on this paper for an hour, than to say, oh well I need to finish this paper. Like I think it's less overwhelming for me, in my opinion. And then attainable and realistic are kind of very similar, and it's just making sure that you're setting goals that you can actually get to, because if you're setting goals that you're not going to be able to get to, like I said, it can lead to that vicious cycle. But it can also like you'll also just not be getting the things that you want to get done. So you want to make sure that your plans allow you to actually get done what you're trying to get done, if that makes sense. And then time bound, it kind of goes along with like measurable. And measurable is also kind of like including ways that you can track your progress. So like instead of saying like I just need to study this, like maybe say I'm going to make 30 flashcards, so that way you can track your progress and how far you've gotten. And so now back to time bound. Sorry, I kind of got those mixed up. That would be more like saying I'm going to do this for an hour, if that makes sense. That was probably like all over the place, so sorry about that. You also want to make sure that you actually schedule in your own like fun time. So like make sure you plan that into your routine, because if you're just like, oh well I'll relax whenever I have time, and you don't like allot that time in your schedule, you're probably not gonna have time to actually do that, if that makes sense. So the next tip that I have is to maximize your productivity. And like these tips, you can probably tell by now, but they kind of all go hand in hand. But to maximize your productivity during the times you're supposed to be doing like certain things. So like say I'm supposed to be doing schoolwork from 2 to 4 p.m. If I'm doing schoolwork but I'm also kind of like responding to YouTube comments or stuff like that, then the schoolwork that I'm doing, I'm not going to be getting done what I'm supposed to be getting done in that time. So then it leads to this like where you're, instead of doing intense schoolwork from 2 to 4, you're like doing schoolwork but also other things from like 2 to 8, and it feels like you're literally always doing schoolwork and you're never having time to do anything that you want to do, because you're kind of like extending how long you have to work on schoolwork because you're not sitting down and focusing on it during that time. Yeah, so I would definitely try to say focus on the things that you have scheduled into your routine, instead of like trying to like do them all like simultaneously, because then it just feels like you're constantly working and never actually having a break, if that makes sense. I feel like I've said that so much during this video. I also, for me, it's really helpful to have like almost like templates of different kinds of assignments. So for example, when I write research papers, I have this like set, it's almost like a writing routine, and I actually really want to make a video about that. So if you would be interested, let me know. And if you think that would be helpful, let me know. But yeah, like I have like a set routine of what I do when I write a research paper. So that way when I have a research paper to do, instead of running around trying to figure out what to do, like, oh, what do I do? How do I start? I already know where I start, which takes a lot of the anxiety around like starting. So I know that sometimes people will procrastinate forever because not because they want to procrastinate necessarily, but just because they don't know where to start, and it can be really overwhelming. So that really helps take that out of the equation for me. And also breaking down bigger goals, bigger assignments into smaller tasks. It also helps take out that procrastination aspect, because instead of saying like, oh, I need to write a research paper, it's like, oh, well, I need to decide on a topic for a research paper. Oh, well, I need to find some like 5 articles for this research paper. And oh, like I need to write the methods for this paper. Yeah, that helps break it down into more manageable tasks than just the big huge like write a research paper. And so I do also have like in my set routine for writing a research paper, I already have like a set breakdown of smaller tasks within writing a research paper. So that's something else I can talk about in that how I write a research paper video if anybody's interested. Okay, and so the last tip that I have is to kind of use your assignments. Oh, no, what you doing? Baby, I'm trying to film a video. Yeah? Yeah? Sit down. Okay. So the last tip that I have is to use your, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, but to use your school assignments efficiently. So if there's like a specific topic that you're interested or something that will help you get to where you want to be for your like school and career goals, then try to organize your school assignments to help you on that path instead of just picking a random topic. So an example of this is I'm a grad student and I have a thesis that I have to write for grad school. And so my assignments this semester, I have tried to pick topics that will help me get a head start on my thesis. So my topic is an eating disorder for my thesis. And so instead of just picking like a random topic for assignments in class, like, I don't know, smoking, I try to do my assignments related to what I want my thesis to do. So that way I'm not doing like, that way like when I start my thesis, I already have a lot of the background research done and like some ideas already spelled out in the papers that I've been doing this semester and everything. So that way I'm not doing like twice the work. Like when I get to my thesis, I won't have to start from scratch. I'll already have stuff from the assignments that I can kind of use to help me figure out like what I'm doing for my thesis, if that makes sense. So that way I'm not doing like twice the work for the school assignments and then for my thesis, if that makes sense. So that is something else that I think really like it helps make your whole like school and work parts more efficient, so that way you'll have more time to spend on other things. So like for example with this, just to give it like specific numbers, so say it would just split the time in half. So if I was just picking random topics, maybe it takes me 4 hours, but if I'm trying to make it more efficient like I was talking about, maybe cut it in half to 2 hours. So that way I have 2 more hours to spend on things for myself. Not that school and work's not for myself, but like to spend on like socializing or relaxing or YouTube, etc. So yeah, I think that's all that I have. I know it was probably a lot, probably overwhelming. And this is also like the first time I've done a video like this. And I have like several ideas, like I think I mentioned some of them, like how I plan, like go into more detail of my routine for grad school and like how I write research papers. So if you're interested in any of those, or if you have any other ideas that are like school related or just that kind of thing, please let me know. I would love your input. And also, yeah, I was gonna say I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. Autumn. Yeah, I'm sorry if this video is all over the place because this is the first time I've done this. So if you need like further clarification on anything that like any of the tips I gave in this video, please reach out because I would love to help you as much as I can. And if you have any other tips that I did not mention here, please leave them below. So if anybody sees them, like if anybody is like really needing tips, they can just get as much as they can out of this. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!